Kansas, the Jayhawks, national championship hopes are alive and well there. The Jayhawks, I mean, the only stumble came at the Maui Invitational to Marquette, and then they recovered and they beat a really good Tennessee team. And every time that doubt has entered the equation within a game, like it did at Assembly Hall, they keep finding ways. So, John Henson, what's the resolution for Kansas in 2024?
John, you set me up for the lob for my resolution. I'm going to say Kansas New Year resolution, keep grinding. The roster doesn't scare you. They look kind of sketchy at Indiana. They were down by 14 to Kentucky, but they locked in and they grinded out those wins. I think that's a credit to Self and his staff. And, they're battle-tested. They're tough. They've got older guys, obviously, and they've beat Kentucky. They've beat Tennessee. They've beat these really good teams. So, Kansas, keep grinding. Keep grinding out these games, grinding out these wins, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you win by 1 or 20. The only time being close matters is in horseshoes and hand grenades. So just keep winning.
Listen, I think the resolution for me is easy. Get all those dudes, other than Hunter and McCullar right now, get in the gym and shoot all the time. Like, I don't even know if they need practice right now, a full practice. I honestly think they just need to shoot the entire practice, Henson. Just get in there. Johnny Furphy, Nick Timberlake. And I also think Bill Self's just got to feed those guys minutes. Take a loss if you have to. Because ultimately, Bill Self knows better than anybody. All that matters is really March and April. And if you can get Johnny Furphy going, he also needs to come down with Fletcher Lawyer with me to Charleston. And I'll take them both out for dinner because they both need to add about 10, 15 pounds. But Timberlake, Furphy, El Marco, those guys, DeJuan Harris, you've got to shoot more, dude. You can't be passive. It's great that you love to set up your teammates, but ultimately you have to be a threat offensively shooting the ball every game. Not 1 out of every 4 games, every single game.
Hey, broke this last week. In the last 2 years, after this ended up happening after the Indiana win, when DeJuan Harris scores 7 or more points in a game over the last 2 seasons, Kansas is 24-1. You can't argue with that. But I guess the question then is, on a team that's frankly weak at the 2 spot, and he's a veteran and has earned the leash, why isn't he shooting the ball more?
It's not how he's wired.
I think, yes, I was going to say that's it's in his innate nature. He's a point guard. I mean, he's a pure point guard. He defends. He enjoys getting his teammates involved. He's just not an aggressive scorer. And I can say that from experience. I was told that my whole life. Be more aggressive. Shoot more. You need to score more. It just wasn't in me. Now, I could score when I got the ball, and I wasn't like a offensive detriment per se, especially in college. But, yeah, I would rather throw the ball over my head to see Z dunk it. Or, hey, look, I would rather make that dime or kick it out to the 3 and see my teammate make a shot. I don't know. It was just in me. So I feel him, but at the same time, I wasn't the lead guard on a team that needed me to score. I had a lot of scores, so it was a little easier for me to blend in.
Hey, Fanta, Henson was way, way too nice of a guy. He was. Like, you'd hear that all the time around the program. Mm-hmm. Like, this dude's too nice, too passive. We wish he had some MF, or what can we do to get him pissed off? And I think it's the same thing for DeJuan Harris. What can you do to get him a little bit mad, angry? Because let's face it, like the end of the Indiana game, when it came down to it, like he made a huge drive and shot high off the glass to kind of almost like, I mean, everybody stepped up at the end, but when he needs to, he can. He's shown the ability. I mean, in Chicago, against Kentucky, what did he go 5 for 6 from 3? So he can do it. It's just like, why not consistently? I don't know.
And John, have you ever heard of a passive needs to be more effort 2-time defensive player of the year? Like, that's what I had to deal with there. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say my next question was, and then I'll have Jeff give it. What was Roy's New Year's resolution for you, Henson, when you were
Okay,
playing?
so people called me passive, and like people thought they need to, but I had the most texts out of all players every year, and we had to run
that
for those. So
true?
like, yes, 100%. I got texts. I got a text at Florida State. I got texts, man. Like nobody
Okay,
really knows
no,
that.
stop. What's the best tech? What's the wildest
Right.
tech you ever got?
We were playing Florida State. Obviously, it was a hype game. We were down. We struggled against Florida State. Carl White has the ball in our hand. Well, Carl White was actually from the same area, so we had some battles. I snatched the ball out of his hand. Ref calls a tech. Coach looks at me. It's a look that the look, and we got to practice. He said, "Everybody on the line. We're going to run for John since he wants to snatch the ball out of guys' hands when we're down 20." I said, "Sorry, fellas," and we ran. But you know what? That's just kind of I used to get really emotionally involved in games sometimes, and I would lose myself. So
thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.